Both dogs freaking out. Looks like we are live. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the July 2022 board meeting of the Continuum Committee. I am the chair this year. I am Chris Sonsteby, Laura on the forums. And from my left to right, I have Brian Schafline, Director of Ops, Maggie Geppert, the Executive Officer, Charlie Plain, the Director of First Edition, and Justin Ford, our Director of Finance. I think that the first thing on the agenda is to approve the minutes from May. Any issues with those, for those of us that have read them?
I've not had a chance to read them, so I'm abstaining.
Okay. I did, and I would move to approve. It looked fine to me.
I also looked them over and I didn't see anything that jumped out at me. So I would move or second if depending on how we want to do that.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
I was not here, so I will abstain.
Okay. Yeah, Charlie and Maggie, feel free to just read them at your leisure in the next week or so. Department reports. Maggie, you want to go first?
I have my current work for the last couple of months has mostly been on actually the operations side. So just mostly right now doing what I'm doing right now, which is
Making
assembling promos. So those of you who are watching get a little bit of I know it's reversed, getting a little preview of the world's promos. This is the last set that I have to do. I'm particular. We got a nice clean ultimatum. We've got penetrate enemy lines, which now has the new title, Contested Defense Perimeter. And then we've got a new 10,000 swarm, which I absolutely adore. The Tribbles are the minefield. So from
Andrea did really well on that one.
Oh yeah, that was great. That was great. So also I'm already getting pinged from Brian Sykes wondering where the link for the board meeting is. So
I just posted it.
So. Yeah, it's just posted now. So but yeah, I mean that's been and doing some other my usual other duties, playtesting and some other stuff. But I have we'll talk a bit more about printable promos, but I'm working on transitioning over to taking charge of that duty, organizing the printable promos and getting them out on time and looking at our procedures for that. So that's been occupying my time here. I still have on my list of to-do things. I really want to get these site features videos up and running because we've gotten people asking, or saying like, I didn't know you could print a deck from the website and things like that. So I really want to get that. I want to get that project done this summer. Hopefully once the summer term is over for me in 2 weeks. I got a month I can dig into nerd work and we're not going on vacation or anything, so I can take care of projects that way.
Well, don't sell yourself short. You've been running tournaments and playing in tournaments, right?
Well, yes, that too. Had successful regionals here and the Tuesday night Tribbles, which is always fun. I just re-upped those. Anybody watching? Shameless plug. Tuesday night Tribbles every night, 9 p.m. every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Central. I just re-upped those for the rest of the year. So those are in the system.
Great. Thanks for the report, Maggie. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
All right, Charlie, first edition.
Well, first up, not really first edition related, but I want to give a shout out to Chris Lobin, Malawis, our former chief programmer and my roommate and one of my best friends, because it is his birthday today. So happy birthday, Chris. I hope it's a good one. We put out the motion pictures remastered. It was a lot of work. It took a long time, and I'm very happy to see it out there in the wild. Jorn and Johnny on the art team worked really hard to get the frame grabs and try to get the colors as close as possible to the originals. Johnny rebuilt the whole file from scratch, and the rules team and the creative team worked really hard, and our testers worked really hard. But I'm really happy we did it. It's very cool to see, and all those cards are now printable in high resolution, and we cleaned up some glossary entries and set up a couple things for Paradise Lost, which is the second classic movie set, which is done and will be coming out. It's not all the way done, but it's 99%, 90% done, and it'll be coming out after our friends at 2E put out a set. We set it up so that we do TMP remastered, and they would put out a set, and then Paradise Lost will come after that. So yeah, I mean, new cards soon. We're going to try to dodge making them legal right before Continentals or anything, but I'm not 100% sure on the date yet, but it will be out soon. Project Solo, which is the TNG movie set, is humming along nicely. It's been tested for a while. There's some cool stuff in there. There's some controversial cards in there that the testers are split on, but that's okay. I've been play testing every week, which with James Monsabroten. That's been a lot of fun. He's been beating on Romulans a lot, and I've been beating on the movie feds a lot. So I think for this next cycle, we're going to switch it up and try different things. But it's a good set, and it's cool. And beyond that, Project Mandalorian, which is the sequel to AU and Q Continuum, which was recently picked on the site as the set most people were looking forward to in the next years. That one's humming along nicely. I want to put a few more cards in it, but then after Solo is done with testing, it's going to go up, and we'll keep moving forward. Tribbles wise, I've got a set that I'm mostly happy with. I need to do a little bit more testing on it, and I just remembered somebody agreed to look at it, and I didn't send it to them, so I'm a terrible person. So I'll do that when this call is over, but get a little more playtesting feedback on that and make sure there's nothing stupid and broken, and then we'll get some triples out for you soon too, I hope. Everything's going well otherwise, except that the world is a hellscape and my life is very, very busy and complicated, but one-E is humming along pretty nicely.
So the world is matching 1E is what I'm hearing. That sounds about right.
Yeah, it's lots of rules that nobody understands and everybody forgets about, and then change half the time, and people still love it. So.
Right. Let's just play the cards how we want them to work, not how they're written or how they're ruled on. Well, thanks for Charlie for that update. My understanding, and I hope I'm not overstepping or misunderstanding, I believe that the 2E set is supposed to be coming out kind of over the next few weeks, but won't be legal for Continentals. I feel like once upon a time, Richard New emailed me and we lined that up where it would be legal, I think, the week after Continentals.
I don't know anything about that. So
that's correct. Actually, Tiark has empowered me to do a minor update. If you'd like me to run I can do
absolutely. Go ahead, Maggie.
Okay. Yes, that is actually, you are correct. The next set for 2E, codename Project Community, now called the Menagerie, will be starting spoilers this Friday. This is the community-based set where players submitted ideas to the to design, and design developed cards based on those ideas, and they've been play tested and refined and play tested some more. And spoilers for that set will begin this Friday. The release date will be July 22nd, which is the Friday before the Continental Championships. So they will not be tournament legal for Continentals. So that is what's on. That's what's on tap and when it's starting to come out. So do watch the site on Friday for spoilers. And I do want to give a shout out to Richard for Chuck's had a lot of real life issues happening lately, and Richard has been as the EXO and design director has been herding cats and running that through. So a big thanks to Richard for making sure things are still running. Also thanks to all the as usual, all the people, the playtesters, the proofreaders, the art team, creative, anybody who's been working on the sets, because the it's looking good. The terms are, all the wording is right. We're not quite at the 2E is not quite at the 1E point where we really have to watch the wording because of a minor indifference in wording. It has a huge gameplay relationship, but we are running into the sorts of consistency in terminology stuff that our proofreaders are really good at finding. So right now in playtesting is Project Justice, which is a set formed from cards that were previously tested and cut from other sets, but are being brought back to life with suitable tweaks based on the old playtester feedback. So that's in playtesting right now. We're in version C. The errata team has been looking at we've also been playtesting some buffs for the errata team for the September release, I guess you'd say it. And we'll have there are some cards that will get errata probably in September, just based on some of the, like the World Championship card I mentioned before is Penetrate Enemy Lines for the promo, but now it's got the new title of Contested Defense Perimeter. So you'll see oh, Brian Sykes just says 2E words don't matter. What proofs have you been reading? No, that was the whole point, Brian. That was the whole point. Is it's not as bad. It's not quite at the level of 1E, but it is important.
Yeah, I believe you did exactly say that. 1E is like every period and every dotted I matters. And she's not being.
I mean, literally, we've had to change cards from a semicolon to a comma because it changed the meaning of the effing thing sometimes. So.
There you go. Maggie, anything else for the 2E side?
We've got some stuff on we got some stuff going in the background, as I understand it, for the upcoming 15th anniversary of the continuing committee, but I'm not sure where that is exactly right now. So that's what I think I know is coming up next. And I believe there's also Project Shackleton, I think it's called, is still in the works. That's an all mission set. So there's good stuff. I know Vidians are still being developed, and there's that hasn't come anywhere near playtesting yet, but I know that's also that project is still active and in the works. So lots of stuff going on in the background. Lots of good stuff happening for 2E.
Scott's obviously not here for the communications update, but does anybody have anything they wanted to share just in general on the communication side for the continuing committee?
Thank you to Daniel, as usual, for running the writing team and getting the social media stuff out. We really appreciate the work that he does. And the ambassadors are not as active as we could be. I'm hoping that we start to see more. Although Winter Flames, one of our ambassadors who lives out in Oklahoma, I know just did a learn to play day out there, possibly and has been running events and stuff. So a brand new play group. Always good to hear about a brand new play group. And we've got some other. He was helping a group in Missouri get up and running too. So thanks to Derek Marler, Winter Flames for that.
Absolutely. And to your comment about ambassadors, obviously you and I and Robin, the chief ambassador, will all be together in person here for Continentals, speaking of shameless plugs. So I'm sure we can sit down and talk about kind of that direction in the future going forward.
Yep, I'm so looking forward to Continentals. So looking forward to it.
Alrighty.
It's going to be a good time. I should build decks for that.
Don't do that. Only one of mine. It's fine. Brian, over to you in ops.
Let's see. I feel like I've been busy, but not particularly for the CC. It was just work stuff. We were just very busy launching something new. So my July was very hectic. But with that said, so Maggie put together all the Masters and Continental promos. Those have all been shipped now. I don't remember how many that was, but it felt like I was sending out a lot of big packages every day. What else we get? Regionals were all shipped out before. We've also sent out now the ambassador promos to the ambassadors. What else? Yeah, we're all caught up on shipping stuff out on the promenade now. I'm trying to think. Programming team. I know Marcus was working fixing bugs in the background, as always. He's a busy guy. What else? Achievements. I saw some of those got updated. Maggie, I think you commented that you earned an achievement historically that you hadn't seen before. They were working to kind of update those to make sure they're working. That was Rogue and Marcus working on those. And I don't think there was much else that went on. So I think I got to pass it over to whoever's next.
That team, I know when I looked at achievements, I think it was Rogue and Marcus. Forgive me if it's somebody else. They turned on some previously hidden achievements. I recall scrolling through it. So now that some of those legacy ones that nobody's earned over the last couple of years, now you can at least see it, so you can try to build a deck for it.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. So I was just going to say, I think that was, I'm looking at first edition ones specifically, but I'm guessing there's probably some second edition ones. So
there's one second edition achievement that is, I think, I know Michael's been hunting. It was something to do with Ferengi. It was I think it was a no staffing, no acquisition achievement or something.
I bet it's the no acquisition Ferengi one. That would make sense.
That one's been known about for a while. Michael got that one a couple of years ago, and but it might be that if you just played, I don't know if it's available to everybody now, because I've been able to see that one for a while because I played a deck in a tournament with it. I didn't earn the achievement, but I played a deck, and it's legal for that. So, but yeah, it's good that they've been getting that updated. I just speaking of like doing promos, I did also yesterday finish assembling and packing more of the Series 21 and Q tournament kits. And I had an unfortunate incident with the Series 21 where I spilled my coffee on a stack of 4 complete sets ready to go into the package. And it wasn't just like, oh, I spilled the coffee and like it got on the first one on the bottom. No, I splashed that damn thing all the way up and down the side of the cards, and they just all soaked the coffee in right through the sides. I'm like,
so what you're saying is some lucky people out there will get some coffee scented promos.
Right. I was just going to say,
Limited edition.
That's actually like an extra promo, and then you have to sign them when we see you. That will be your autographed version. Maggie.
Coffee. Oh no, they went right in the garbage. Sorry.
But next time, save them, bring them to events, and anybody who buys you a coffee gets a coffee promo set. So
always thinking about marketing right there. You can find a way to spin this.
Well, that's my inner Ferengi. So
and free coffee, yeah.
Everybody wins.
Speaking of 21 and Q series, lots of those have gone out the door as well. So, yeah, there were quite a few orders in the second half of June there that now are all in the mail system or delivered already. So that's good. And it's also good we're getting more, Maggie.
Yeah, and Jeremy is going to run another, is going to run another print run for me that has the promos for the menagerie in it, and hopefully I will get those. Hopefully I should have them ready by go day, by release date. So I should have the preview or those the release promos ready by release date for people to order those release kits.
And we're also ahead of the game on the new One East set. So we have those thanks to Maggie.
Yep.
So yeah, those will be ready to go for launch for that too.
Yeah. Well, I have a copy. Of that one if I haven't shown everybody. That's
non-aligned Scotty.
Yep.
a non-aligned Scotty from Star Trek 4. He's an old Aberdeen pub crawler. Once per game may restore used range of a TMP ship here.
That's powerful.
That actually is.
That's why he's not aligned. He can go in any deck that's classic.
So much for
bonus.
Scytherians. That'll help you run down that space line pretty quick.
Well, I mean, not to get too into it, but we sort of realized just blanket giving range bonuses for factions isn't always the best way to go about things. They get some, but something like that where it's not necessarily a range bonus, but it's an opportunity to use your range differently or use it again, can replicate a lot of the good effects of something like that without a lot of the negative effects. So that's us pushing and trying new design space.
I like it. Yeah, it's not the once per game means he can be a miracle worker one time, right? And not every turn. I like it.
That's it for me.
Okay. I guess I'm next with organized play. We have got a number of completed regionals that have happened since our last meeting, kind of by region, and in Andoria, down in Cardassia, and in the Void, as Maggie alluded to. I think that's Kentucky and Illinois had those. South Dakota had ours. Minnesota had theirs, and I think one side of Florida did theirs. We've had a number of Tribbles events online, as Maggie alluded to. Lots of weekly play, and just kind of some actual non-regional regular tournaments. We're seeing the UK is kind of coming back to life. There was an event in Alabama, and there was another one in California. So obviously, we're very happy to see play groups coming back out of the woodwork now in kind of this quote unquote post-COVID world. But obviously, there's always room for more. We definitely want to see more people playing, whether that's online or in person. And speaking to that, it's a good segue for the online finals start tomorrow. If anybody's interested in TK's Dojo events, they both start on the 4th of July for first edition and second edition. After that, you could go to Fargo for a regional or to Florida for a regional. And there's an event in London scheduled that I think might be a regional, but I'll have to have Jules look at that. It actually says in the tournament listing, maybe a regional question mark, I think. So I saw this morning. But here locally for me, having completed the regional kind of cycle of South Dakota, Minnesota, and helping get other events lined up, I am getting geared up for Continentals. Speaking of shameless plugs, I have no problem with that. If you were to attend Continentals this year, we have got trophies for the first 3 places for first edition, second edition, third edition. If you've not seen these type of trophies, they're actually kind of a Maggie knows, she's seen them. Jeremy Benedict does a terrific job of the graphics for the inside of what it actually ends up being an acrylic photo holder, practically, I guess, for lack of a better term. But they're in different sizes and they look really cool. The last time we ran Continentals here, Jeremy did a terrific job with that. He and I are kind of working on setting those up. But if you don't finish in the top 3, anybody who attends tournaments in Minnesota, we generally do prizes from the bottom up. So even if you show up and lose every game, you'll get probably a really cool foil, including some foils from events that either hadn't happened last year or were hard to attend last year, like Masters foils. I've hinted on the forums. My understanding is there's Excelsior foils that never went out. We've got some that we can give away. Obviously really hard to come by some tournament foils, like maybe you didn't go to Worlds a few years ago. I've got those that I've collected over the years. So prizes will be off the charts. They always are when we have a high level event. And that's to say nothing of the Continentals kit. This year is obviously the year of the Dominion. And I believe Continentals is Borta, right? Isn't that the group? Or is that Changelings? Maybe I'm wrong. I think it's Changelings.
It's Founders.
Yeah,
It's
right.
O'Brien. It's O'Brien Founder. Because remember
right.
we were giggling and Bashir and the Bashir Founder from for TUI, because we were giggling about Miles and Julian.
Yes, that I remember that. I don't know that that was ever formally announced, but we decided to do the bromance as a joke, and they're in the wrong color. So if you're playing first edition, you'll get one of the boys, and if you're playing second edition, you'll get the other. So look for those foils. Obviously, to be given away at Continentals as we, I think the play environment, I don't want to speak for Charlie or for TJ, but I think the play environment is going to be pretty stable between now and Continentals. So if you have a broken deck, please show up at Continentals and break things so that then we can fix it for Worlds.
There is a one card going on the ban list tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
All right. It's mostly because we've been talking about the trick that it enables for a while, and we thought we had an errata ready, but it turns out it wasn't quite ready. There was some difference of opinions that hadn't been clearly articulated. So we're going to go ahead and take a card out just so it's not going to, run rampant all around rules and then run rampant all around Continentals. But it should be only out of the system for a month. Come August, we'll put it back.
Okay.
So
that's good to know. And it sounded like Maggie alluded to the TUI side is going to be pretty much stable. It sounds like they're not doing anything for another month or so, right? With changes.
Yeah, no errata that I am aware of. No additions or subtractions from the watch list that I know of either. So we're and as I mentioned, the TUI, the new TUI set will drop the day before Continental. So bring your brokenest Dominion deck. Everybody else put in Morphogenic Virus. And
I was just gonna say, I know a lot of people aren't playing as frequently as I've been fortunate to lately, but I've played the Dominion deck with Audacious Assault, and somebody referred to it as Brown Cadets in South Dakota. That was one of the nicer terms I heard for it. I mean, lots of plays on words for brown, as you can imagine. I'll leave it at that. But
classy.
I couldn't. Well, right, we're all adult children, but I couldn't get past all the draws I was giving my opponent. And then suddenly Justin in Minnesota was double teaming with two ships at one space mission on his first admission. I was like, this can't be good. But Justin actually showed up to the Minnesota regionals, and I hope had a good time. We had a really intense TUI game. And I know that if you haven't seen the results, Kevin Jaeger from South Dakota curb stomped us all, including in Tribbles, which was crappy because he was losing in the 5th round and then magically came back and won. So he hit the trifecta. But overall, I'll say it till I die. Play the game. It's really fun. If you're not playing frequently, try to find somebody online to play with, because crazy things can happen. Like a regional where everyone was playing TNG Borg. That was random. And then no one was at the next one.
And Steve did not find his card. Will he ever
Steve
find
did not. No, Steve was kept drawing for that one card and couldn't find it. But that's kind of my long-winded explanation of organized play. If you haven't played recently, please do. I know that Europe's kind of been quiet, but they're coming to life with Continentals right after ours. So I'm excited to see what kind of broken stuff the Euros have picked up in both first edition and second edition, so that I can copy it and then get it at Worlds myself. That's all I got. Justin, you're up for finances.
Looks like June was a good month. Looks like so far year to date, we're almost recovered what was in the red from 2021. So that was good. We should be good on supplies for a while, for about 3 years. We got about a little less than 500 stock of paper, so we shouldn't have to purchase paper for a few years. Hopefully the economy slows down and prices fall again. So that's good. Just to have that, like Maggie alluded to, just that small printing order with Jeremy to get some other things printed, but we should be good for most of this year, I think. So not too bad. Obviously the goal is to finish the year recuperating from last year's loss, just to be more mindful on what we're spending money on over what we're bringing in, since we don't really have dues. It's all reliant on obviously donations. So things are good there.
Great. Thanks, Justin. I think that covers all of our department reports. So unless there's anything else, we can jump down to old business, which is first up was printable promo updates.
Yeah, Maggie has been, she and I have chatted a few times about how to take this over. I have a large chunk of the TUI promos. I finally got those. I need to get them to the tech guys, and there's still a few TUI promos that we do not have. And I guess the question I would have for everybody is, do we just go ahead and put up what we have now because we've been holding for a while, or do we try to track down every last one and put them all up at the same time, which is the process we have been operating under. But
let's just get as many out as we can.
okay.
Yeah, I think so too.
We'll get those. I will get those over to the appropriate people, and they'll try to get them out for you, I would imagine, this coming week. And then the ones that are missing, I will be available as a resource for Maggie to help her track things down and answer questions, but she's going to run the show after this. And I won't, my only role involving promos will be getting the 1E1s and Tribble ones done and handing them to her to do all the other stuff. She's got some good ideas for making things easier and automating some things so that situations like what has happened recently won't happen again. So.
Great. Thanks, Charlie. Anything else on that, Maggie?
No, I'm just trying to, I just want to get a meeting together with all of the, I hate to use this word, but it's kind of the right one in this case. All the stakeholders, business term, in this, just to talk about what we can do to make sure, like I said, like Charlie said, I have some ideas about how to automate some of these things so that, we're not, that I'm getting, because right now it's 3 sets of files. One for the version that we print on foil paper, one version that's got the watermark over the top of the file that we print for that we print or that we send to the printer, and then one where it's got like in TUI where it has lore on it instead of saying promo series whatever, that's unwatermarked. So just making from here on out, making sure that when the art team send me the version that we print, that I also get all the three full sets of files all at the same time, and then getting those right away into the system, and then like on the day that they're supposed to be printable, you just set the website so on this day it releases the printable promos automatically and we don't have to do it manually. So I have some ideas about that, and just getting together with everyone. I just need to invite everybody to a meeting and talk about what's possible, what's not possible. So that's my next step on that.
Okay. Thanks, Maggie. If there's nothing else on promos, next up is the Chair's Challenge raffle drawing.
So it turns out that most of the people who won promos over the past year, either through the Chairman's Challenge or even March Madness, they didn't go out. That's mostly my fault, but I've been working I just was out of town Friday and yesterday and didn't have a chance to sit down and do it, but it's on my to-do list today is to get all those names over to Brian to get those out, and then they'll be caught up and we'll have a system in place for doing it more quickly moving forward. So if you've been expecting a promo and didn't get it, that's because we didn't send it yet. Please accept our apologies. We will get those out, and I will probably ask for some extra swag to go into the packages for you. So.
Speaking of the Chair's Challenge, I suppose I got to figure out what I want to do for this year, right? And I would open the floor for suggestions, obviously the board and also anybody who sees this. I'm open to suggestions for what a good Chair's Challenge would be for the year of the Dominion. So just keep me posted, and thanks again, Charlie, for that update on last year's challenge. We have a couple of new items to discuss today. The first up is regarding the Director of Communications. According to our bylaws, we would need all of the folks who are on the board currently to vote to remove Scott as the Director of Communications. And internally, we've had a discussion a little bit prior to this meeting. Given that TJ is not here, we can't actually make that vote, but we do need to move forward. And we've been in communication with Scott, obviously, throughout this whole period. He had offered to resign from the board several months ago, and we all kind of just said, hey, why don't we just wait and see how your job goes and how things calm down a little bit. That unfortunately hasn't happened. So I guess collectively we decided we will now formally accept Scott's resignation as Director of Communications, with that caveat that if his life situation changes at any point in the future, he's more than welcome to come back into any communications role that he would have interest in, or even in a different department. I mean, he's obviously more than welcome to apply for any position that is an opening at that time for the continuing committee. So again, I'd like to thank Scott for his service as Director of Communications. As Maggie said, thanks to Daniel throughout this whole kind of interim period of handling a lot of those communicational aspects. And we hope in the future that we can have Scott back in fold in some capacity. Anyone on the board have anything else to add to that statement? Maggie, making promo, shakes her head no. That sounds like we're good.
Thank you very much, Scott. And the reason he's not hasn't been around is because he got promoted at work a couple times and taking on some more responsibility. And I know he's moving now, so good things are happening for him. So this isn't a bad, reason. He's just gotten very busy.
Yep, it's a good thing for Scott. And as we all know, when life happens, your hobbies tend to get put in the background. But I do hope that I can buy Scott a beer in the future at a high level event, and maybe he and I can talk pro wrestling from the 90s and 80s and see who has the better gimmick or something to that effect. But I do again want to echo thanks to Scott for his work so far. A couple other small items. Maggie, you wanted to speak about fall leagues, is that correct? You want to take the floor?
Yeah, I just wanted to know if we were going to promote fall leagues this year, just get that in just get that out, people, generating ideas. Because we haven't offered any prize packages for leagues for the last 2 years. And, in my capacity of getting prizes rolling, assembling promos, if we were going to do leagues and we wanted to have a prize kit, now is the time to get those in. So I had an idea for some ideas for prize kits for leagues if we were going to go that route. So, Chris, as director of organized play, how is what is your team thinking about in terms of league play?
I guess I can't speak for everybody, but I would say that I've noticed league participation seems to be pretty far down. There are only a couple leagues that ran this year. That said, I do think some of that could be attributed to COVID and just lack of play groups wanting to get together. Obviously, tournaments weekly or every other weekly, that does create a little bit of a COVID math situation for who's interacting with who. But I'm in favor, I guess, of letting leagues run as is for another year and just hoping that they do rebound. And maybe that is a byproduct of a lack of prizes. So you and I can talk offline. I'll connect with the team and just make sure that I'm not speaking out of turn, that they all kind of think that, more tournaments are better. That's generally our feeling, I think, as a group. But I will certainly let you know, and yeah, we'll get going on prize kits for leagues, and that announcement article of how to apply for a league can go up sooner this year rather than later.
Is there
Do we
any
ever-
reason? Sorry, go ahead, Charlie.
No, I was just going to ask. I think we should take a whole look at what we are doing with leagues and revamp the whole system. Now, maybe we don't do that this year just because of timing. But like for me, the system was created by John Corbett, and it was intended to get people, because what was traditionally happening was there was a lot of play through regionals, through worlds, and then not very much from the back half of the year. So leagues was created to encourage people to play more in the off season, quote unquote. I don't think that those same conditions are true anymore. I feel like worlds is frequently later in the year now, and with online play, people are kind of playing more all the time. So if there's nothing wrong with the system, it's worked for years brilliantly. But if the reason that we created it isn't quite the reason we need it anymore, then maybe we should revamp it. And what we don't have is any casual play infrastructure. So maybe we can repurpose leagues to be less of a, August through February play more system and more of a year round. Here's a way to play that's not in tournaments that you can get stuff for, I don't know, but I would like to at least have those conversations.
I completely agree. And that's kind of, you and I have talked about that offline as well, about just how do we look at this going forward. To Maggie's point, though, it's hard to tell if those leagues just kind of evaporated from lack of interest, or if it evaporated for, any number of reasons. I can't say that all of them disappeared. I mean, Sean O'Reilly in Florida has been steadfastly running leagues every single year, and I think his league went through everything that they normally do this year, even without prizes. So I do want to say there are some play groups that are really interested in that. But to your point, Charlie, I've heard my local guys say, it'd be really nice if we could just play on like a Thursday night and not have it count for anything, because then they can switch decks and they can, I'm going to try this deck, and if I win or lose, doesn't matter. I got some data on it and I can try this other deck. So I do think maybe we want to look at, even for this year, I don't think it'd be too hard to start making some of those events just unrated, right? Call it what you want and let people just play, where you barely take notice of what happened. You're just more getting together to play.
Yeah, we can certainly discuss that more. Yeah. So, and as for prizes, I think an excellent thing to do for leagues is just reprint old tournament sets and make them available to people to get through leagues. So.
I mean, we had 2 leagues up here for better part of 6 years straight, and it definitely with the border closure and splitting our play group, definitely has impacted our league plan. We actually haven't done it in the last couple of years, and so yeah, it's fortunate. But
Brian, were you going to add something?
Charlie basically said all the things I was thinking. So thanks, Charlie.
All right, Brian. I should have let you talk. You're much smoother than I am. So.
You got it all across, so that's fine.
No, I'm 100% in favor of anything that gets people playing, and I think Charlie's on the right path of, let's make it less about tournament play and more about just keep playing over the league season. So I will talk to my team and report back next month. I believe we did open it up to a public comment period, and through number of emails, Maggie and I kind of hashed that out. I don't believe there is anyone who wanted to come on now after that communication, but if there is, please let me know. You guys see any questions, comments in the chats that you're looking at?
there's one thing from the old business from last month, bylaw updates to the definition of member. Did we cover that?
I thought we took care of that last meeting.
No, I think Maggie, you were out last meeting, right?
I
And
was
that
out
kind
last
of,
meeting.
Your-
The definition of member is gonna stay the same as far as I understand it, until we can get the reward system up and running. I think that's what we mostly, that's what we talked. Oh, I might be muted. Hang on.
No, you're good. I hear you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, as I understand it, we sort of are like, well, we would like to make it so that people can earn rewards and get a member, be a member for the purpose of the period of review. So you're not necessarily paying money, or so it's not like you have to pay for the premium membership if you run enough tournaments, or if you do X, Y, and Z, you can get enough rewards where you can earn the membership level where you can vote in the period of review. But until we have the rewards store, we weren't going to change that. I think that was the conclusion we came to.
Like, so if I'm remembering, the existing paths will still exist, but we'll have the additional path of the player rewards.
No, it would actually, it would scrap the existing paths. So you wouldn't automatically get a vote in the period of review if you're a volunteer. You wouldn't automatically get it if you're a premium member. What it would be instead is that, and this was part of the whole reward system. So if you play in a tournament, or you run a tournament, or you volunteer, you get so many rewards points, and you can decide in the store, hey, I don't care about the period of review. I'm going to go buy a borderless promo with my rewards points. Or I do care about the period of review. I'm going to save some of my rewards points and buy that and opt for that vote. So that's what I've been envisioning, and that's what that's kind of what at least when I've asked this question in the period of review forum before, that's kind of where people wanted to be.
Doesn't that result in some feel bad moments where, like, oh, I have enough points to get this really cool thing, but only if I don't pay for the right to vote, like, could it instead be just like, if you've earned X points in a year, you get the right to vote just automatically, so you have to have a certain amount of investment in things.
Yeah, we could do that too.
But you don't actually have to spend any, because it's not, to me, I worry it'd be feel bad moment of like, oh, I have these rewards points. What can I go get? Oh, I have, I don't know what the numbers would be, but I have 30 points. I want to buy a old playmat. Well, but I have to spend 5 points for the right to vote, and I really want the right to vote. So now I can't get the thing. Maybe I'm worrying too much about it, but.
Well, I think that's a valid question, and we can hash that out again, not at the board meeting. I think that's a very valid question. You don't want people to feel like they have to miss out on a cool thing because they also need to vote.
And as for the reward store itself, I guess maybe I should mention, been working on that, hoping within the next couple of weeks I can start showing some folks some things so that they can test. I get some actual, rather than just my own testing, some other people trying to break things. So
somebody dumb like me who can for
right,
sure.
Exactly. You're the perfect candidate. No, but yeah, so hopefully that will be, it could be even before our next board meeting that's a thing we can start using. So we'll see.
Okay. There was one other comment. Brian Sykes asked if we could archive the Excelsior forum. I guess we had brought this up before and TJ wasn't present. I don't want to step on TJ's toes, but this sure feels like it's a dead OP thing. And I would motion to archive it because it's no longer a valid, no one's playing Excelsior, right? It's not, and I hate saying that to anybody who did play it. But I think that if I'm a new player and I'm visiting the site, you don't want me going down this rabbit hole of this format that nobody plays and no one has in several years. So is there any issue if we archive it from an ops side? Is that difficult to do?
No, it's pretty easy.
Do you go ahead, Maggie?
I'm fine with it. we're not supporting it anymore. It needs to be removed from the organized play guide then. Because
Okay.
it's a listed format in the OPG.
Okay. Yeah, I
So
guess.
that doesn't impact the forum being there.
Right.
No,
It can,
I mean, that could just be something for the list. That could be something for the list for the next time you go to update it.
Such a fun document to update too. I mean, really riveting reading material. If anybody's actually gone through it.
That's
Okay.
like no updates.
What?
We had one question in the chat on YouTube. What's the raffle status? Looks to me like I think I saw I don't see any pending orders. So, and I guess Dan finished printing all of the raffle prizes from last time. I don't know when he
Yeah,
plans.
as far as I know, all the raffle prizes were sent out before the last meeting. So I don't know that he's got a date in mind for the next one, if that's the question.
Yeah, I feel like the question was when's the next one gonna get held, and we'll report back. Anything else for the meeting? Anyone, either public comments or any of the board members want to address?
No, I don't see anything on Discord. I don't see anything else except for we need beer scented cards
For
after
Kaiser
my
Fest?
coffee scented promos.
I said we needed a coffee scented Janeway and a beer scented O'Brien.
That's totally true. Johannes and or Jules, please work on that for Kaiser Fest next month. If
So-
nothing else,
Excelsior should be hidden now. No one should be able to see it. If you guys can confirm that, that would be helpful.
Yeah, no, the question is, when is the next raffle going to happen? I just got a text and the answer is, I don't know. That's up
to be
to,
determined.
that's up to Dan. And he has troubles of his own right now.
All right. If there's nothing else for the board meeting, I would put forth the motion to adjourn. Any questions or comments you want to add before that?
I will move to adjourn.
Second.
All right. We stand adjourned. Thank you, everybody.